Good. Recording got started. A warm welcome to all of you. My name is Lakshmi. Yesterday, some of you didn't join. So I have 25 years of experience in IT. I run a company called Hands-on Agile Coaching Company, HAC, and we provide a lot of job-oriented, job-ready, hands-on IT training programs. So the area of interest for all of us for today is to understand more about the business analyst. Yesterday, we had a high-level introduction about what is a business, what is an analyst, business analysis, just the basic definitions. Today, DP, our instructor, is going to take the one project and just explain clearly the flow, focusing more on the data, Power BI, data analysis, business analysis, the difference between them, how we can make ourselves stand out in this competitive market. Yeah, so let us understand all these insights from DP. Thank you very much. I don't want to take much of your time. Over to you, DP. I
Thank
already
you.
made you co-host. Oh yeah, you're already co-host. So yeah, let's start the class. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lakshmi. Okay. So, well, hello everyone. Maybe today, as Lakshmi mentioned, maybe there are new members added, and let's say the old members know about Avatar and Persona. Yesterday we talked about. However, uh, let's. This is me. Yep. Right. So I'll off the camera and start sharing the screen. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Quick recap. Yesterday, what we talked about that. Okay, let's introduce quick introduction that I'm a coach and consultant for 27 plus years of experience in the tech because we have started early at the age of 16 in 90s. Okay, there is a big story, but I'll put it quick, very short, and I work for actually as a consultant, like one of the big firms. Like recently, that I'm switching into a different roles this year. But we are a tech consultant in terms of data and business and architecture side. This is what my expertise is. Okay, and I played different roles earlier, like tech management and as well as a functional. These are the three areas which I was strong. And currently, because the new technology that is AI, I did my PhD from one of the premium institute from India, that is NIT. I finished my PhD from A&ML, okay, in A&ML recently, and I did analytical uh, executive execution from Penn and other problem solving, design thinking, and all from Cambridge. So these are my credentials, and I already shared the LinkedIn also with Lakshmi. Okay, just quick recap that what yesterday we talked about. We talk about the role that who is a business analyst. Uh, what is the roles, the responsibilities, mapping with one of the like job opening. I yes, this is the job opening. Let's minimize. Yeah, this is a job opening from Deloitte, where I've just explained that what they are looking for. This is not one job listing or one posting. There are other postings also. But what is common pattern is that so the business analyst is the one who gathers the requirements. He acts a bridge between the project stakeholders like the PO, the client, and the technical teams. Okay, he should be able to understand the needs from the customers and should be able to communicate back with the tech team um, to build the solution, right? So what is that they are looking for is a problem solving skills and SQL and understanding the relational databases. Okay, uh, because today role is something which is hybrid roles, that they are looking for something which is functional as well as data. It's not just earlier, if you look back 8 years back or 10 years back when we are training, only we used to train only functional BAs, like they should be able to gather the requirements. That's it, period. Then there is no need of like getting into the tech kind like SQL, some sort of data analysis and Power BI, business analytics or business intelligence. No. But now the roles are evolving, just the industry is asking and the market is looking for the people who is having at least this understanding of SQL, understanding of Power BI, understanding of what is data analysis is all about. Okay, so that's what we are, design this curriculum that to meet the industry requirements. Functional means something which is requirements understanding, how to write requirements and how to work in an agile team. Okay, like understanding the Scrum mindset, also having this data skills, because every company today is leveraging or running their business on data. Data is a new fuel. Okay, because of AI also one reason. Okay, that is the reason the industry is asking for technical skills, semi-technical. So when I say technical, maybe are you writing the code? No, but we are using the making use of the tools, data tools, okay, and generating reports or dashboards. How I can talk about those things? Okay, yesterday we talked about what is like the role clarity, and we talk about the project life cycle, like typical initiation, planning, execution, and closure. Every project, okay. But we are specific to the software projects, or AI projects, or automation projects, or mobile projects. Okay, these are the types of solutions that we build in the tech, right? So next is that we talk about quick that the titles today. The title business analyst speaks multiple meanings. Okay, it's earlier is clearly a functional, but today they are adding. The industry is looking for something and a hybrid skills, tech skills also, and the title is also a little bit different, like business analyst, data analyst, business technology analyst, business systems analyst, tech business analyst. Okay, and you may see different titles also, don't be confused, but our focus, we should be able to check, verify and validate the job description, what the keywords that they are looking for, what is the skill set they are looking for, what is the competency they are looking for, what are the tools they are looking for. That is important, and we should be able to check the fit. Oh, this is what I'm exactly they are looking for my skill sets. Okay, don't be confused with the titles. Today, titles are very maybe some fancy also. Today, a lot of companies are changing their cost centers. Like they are changing this definitions of titles also. Okay, roles. Okay, we did an exercise that which role, like PO, developer team, and UI UX people, PM or a Scrum Master, QA. QA is the one who tests the application of the quality. Solution architects
I
or
can't hear
application
clearly.
architects. Okay, and subject matter experts, domain subject matter experts, BA and DevOps. These are the typical roles who involves in software development projects, okay, in tech projects. Therefore, this is going to give a kind of an exercises or assignments for you also. Maybe there is a Google Drive where we will upload that assignment, how to complete. We will give the guidelines also, you can do this kind of exercises, okay, because we are designing this curriculum outcome based. You should be able to apply that. You need to recall that what you understand, you need to list out that something what you understand. Okay, these are the exercises we do. Yesterday we did it. And come to that thinking modes, we talk about thinking modes, because business analyst, the term analyst, because the mind, the thinking, the cognitive ability is required. When I say cognitive ability, it's because we have a lot of biases. Okay, so always think that analysis is all about whole and its parts. Okay, analysis is all about whole and its parts. Synthesis is all about parts and connecting to the whole, right? So when you are doing the research, when you're exploring something, how you should be able to think, how to document it. Okay, this is what we talk about. Like just quick visual thinking is very, very important. Strategic thinking. Okay, okay, and systems thinking. Let's say what is the integrations that the application has. Let's say if we are talking about the e-commerce, think of an e-commerce because we are already purchasing something, right? So we are placing orders. The core domain is the orders in an e-commerce retail, and what is the sub um, functions that is like maybe returns and sorry, payment gateway is there, and your notifications, let's say email, SMS, WhatsApp. Sometimes they send, hey, your order is booked, and all these notifications, they are integrated. Your payment gateway is integrated. So therefore we should be able to think systems, what are the systems are integrated or interfaced. Okay, design thinking is all about, especially in software development, in software technology side, frames, wireframes, or designs like UI. We can think of an UI because that is where the user is going to interact. Always, we as an analyst, we should be able to think of what is the preferences, what he thinks, feels. Okay, um, all these things, aspects, we should be able to keep in thinking. Okay, design side. Okay, these are the thinking. But always, I emphasize this model. What is a model or a modeling? Modeling is all about documenting process in different formats. What are the different formats? One is text format, second is a tabular formats, okay, and the third is visual or a diagrammatic format. In business analysis, we do a diagrammatic format. Example is flowcharts because we are a problem solvers. How do you solve a problem? Let's we will talk about that, in a few uh, minutes from now, and we talk about that how you research, how you, let's say, explore. Okay, how do you elicit information? This is three ways you can do it: collaborative way, researchy way, and experimental way. Okay, so collaborative is that we should be able to conduct interviews with the stakeholders. Stakeholders is the main source of information. Okay, when I say a stakeholder, who is a stakeholder? Stakeholders means, don't think not necessarily a human being, might be a internet system, like internet is also, you can think of a kind of a stakeholder which helps, gives us the documents or artifacts with which we can learn a lot of things, right? And maybe by observation you can observe a system. Maybe if you observe a mission, you can also understand that. Okay, uh, and you can research without anybody also. Okay, that is another approach. We can elicit, or we can obtain information, or you can research, or you can study systems, or you can study the information. And experiments, maybe we can do wireframes. Okay, what does it mean? Wireframe means, like, when, especially in software, like designs, how the software look likes. Okay, if I do a wireframe or a mock-up, okay, that gives more like learning, like, oh, what is the changes we need, and we will make others understand what they need also, right? These are the three ways which we can do the analysis. Like, in order to analyze something, you need information, you need data, right? So you need some facts, you need artifacts. So, and you need source of information like stakeholders, they're supposed to give us, right? So identifying them and obtaining that is very, very important. That's why we call it as the term elicitation. Elicitation. Elicitation is all about obtaining information or draw forth information. What is the source? It depends. Today we have AI. AI is makes our life easy. If you make use of AI, it becomes okay. Very efficient. Mm. This is what yesterday we talked about AI prompt engineering. I showcased that a prompt where we can generate a research, okay, and analysis. We can analyze a domain. Let's say if I don't know healthcare, I don't know, because when I say domain, BA means domain, domain means BA. Business analyst. When I utter the word business analyst, first day anybody will ask, what is the domain? What is the domain do you know? Do you know banking? Do you know healthcare? Do you know retail? Do you know what domain you're coming from? That is very important. Okay. Therefore, today AI is helping like anything. Earlier, if we want to learn any domain, it takes time. It takes days, weeks, months, years, right? But today it becomes easy. But we will help you that we will give you something, a prompt which is engineered properly structured prompts. I have a library for BS. Okay, I have a libraries, no, prompt library. I have for all, like in order to generate a research about a domain like the retail domain. If I want to learn retail domain, how it works, I clearly instructed the ChatGPT or wherever you go, like ChatGPT or Grok or Claude. If we give that prompt, it will give us the information. Even fact checker also, I have a prompt. Okay, for organizing that artifact and generate themes, also I have prompt. We are going to give the prompts to you, so with which you can learn the domain. Where we can do some project also, a mini project. Okay, the mini project is all about that. You should be able to conduct, maybe in the next week we can start this with you should be able to conduct the research, understand the domain, because as a BA this is a minimum, whether you are a fresher or a mid-level or a senior level. Typically these research study analysis, a high level strategic level analysis will be carried out by senior resources, senior consultants or senior guys. But today we have the artificial intelligence which helps whether you're a fresher or a mid-level or a senior. Okay, it's the same, but the prompt should be engineered. We have that prompt, we can train you on that. What is the art of prompting is very important. I can teach you that. Okay, here it is. You should be able to do a project, because research and analysis and problem solving is very very important. So many projects will be carried out like conducting a mini research project on a topic on your interest, but we will guide you on a retail industry or a retail sector and the retail e-commerce and UI, AI, which tools that's supposed to be used and synthesize the findings. Analysis is all about what? Whole and its parts. Synthesize means what? The parts and the whole, right? Connecting all the parts and organizing all the parts into a whole. Okay, if you have this skill, then you can claim that I'm an analyst. Analyst is all about. I'm not talking about a financial analyst. At least a general analyst that's supposed to carry out this kind of. This is a capability, kind of a capability we need to build. Okay, you need to get the 10 process and identify the themes and create a comparison analysis, maybe comparison matrix, what the comparison is all about, and generate three-page reports of with citation. This you can do it with the help of AI. In order to do the same thing, it takes weeks, but you can do it in a day. If I give the prompts, if I train you that, how to do the prompt engineering, like you don't need to do the prompt engineering, at least how to use those prompts and what is the tools where you're supposed to use, you can generate a report in just minutes. Okay, that is what the value add here in business analyst with AI, right? This is what just we covered so far. Today, we wanted to see this domain in detail. Okay, what is domain first of all? Okay, definitely when you are going for an interview, they'll ask you that what is a domain? A domain is a specific area, you can say like this. A domain is a specific area or a field. Okay, specialize in like retail, finance, accounts, even technology is one domain you can say. Okay, accounts is one domain, HR is one domain, and the marketing is one domain, sales is one domain. Okay, healthcare is one domain because it's a field is big or small. or a complex or a simple. We're not talking about that. But one specific, okay, area which typically referred as a domain. Okay. Let's say if you ask, hey, DP, what is your domains? My domain is functional as well as tech. Both I have this. Okay. Still, uh, you don't believe that I used to write the code because that is my habit. I don't work, every day like writing the code for the company, but I practice weekends or that is my passion, right? Because I wanted to be active in the coding side. Maybe today I'm developing a Python which models, prediction models, a kind of a thing. I'm tweaking the models. I'm fine tuning the models. Okay, because the technology which is demanding me learn all those things, right? So AI is a new domain which I'm expertising now. Machine learning is new domain. AI engineering is new domain which I'm expertising, right? So domain is a specific field where if you know about it, if you understand that, how you learn, yes, we will teach you that. How do you learn a kind of a domain, right? There is a systematic way you can learn or you can understand a domain. Okay, that's what we can say just at a high level what is domain, and we can understand what you should be able to look at if we want to analyze a domain. Domain is a specific field, right? Let's say example, we can take a retail today, and this is the tool you should be able to have in your tool belt. Domain analysis is the very basis. Okay, in order to solve any problem, if you're jumping and if you try to write the requirements or if you analyze data, if you generate reports or dashboards, first place is this. Okay, domain is who owns the data. Like, let's say if in e-commerce, if you are solving a problem, that problem is all about like orders. Okay, orders are not placing, or orders are not delivering, orders are not shipping on time. Maybe you're solving a problem in an orders domain. Okay, what is the data that will be there in the orders function? Okay, we should be able to identify, and who is the SME, subject matter expert, who can give me the knowledge, or domain subject matter expert, DSME. Okay, identifying is very very important. Process of identifying is the very very basic skill for an analyst. Process of identifying, please remember this. You can highlight, you can write it down. Process of identify and the list is the key for a business analyst, right? So identify. So what is the data entities that in that particular domain, which I'm focusing the field or area, and who changes the rules? Who changes the rules? Who is the authority in that particular entities? Into when I say an entity, let's say example is order. Order is an entity, right? And who holds that order data, and like who else is going to change the rules, all these things. And this is very very important because if you are learning or analyzing domain, I always emphasize this. Okay, jargons. See, if you are not a tech guy, if you never heard of business analysis or tech business analysis, okay, you're coming to this field, what you're supposed to do is first of all learn what is the jargons, what is a, because we call it as ubiquitous language. Okay, ubiquitous means something which is new to you. That's what we need to understand. Let's say today we will talk about agile scrum. Agile scrum is a methodology, project methodology, but there are terms, there are very new jargons. Let's say they speak about retrospective, this speaks about sprint, this speaks about story points, this speaks about backlog, this speaks about user story, this speaks about epic, this speaks about feature. Maybe if you are not in tech, if you are not in any project management so far, these are very new terms to you, new jargons to you. So therefore, if you want to learn any new field, always try to understand what is the jargons. Okay. Another example I will give you. Maybe if you are new to the healthcare, if you want to learn healthcare domain, first of all, what is the function of healthcare? Like what would be the functions? I'll give you the prompts for all these things. Okay. First of all, what is the jargons? Outpatient, inpatient. What is that you are talking about? Like what is the ICD? What is the HIPAA standards? Okay. What is HIPAA? Okay. All these may be healthcare related stuff. Okay. When it comes to the audit or a finance and audit, okay, valuation is one of the valuation. What is valuation? Maybe that's a new word. What is a ledger? What is an account? What is chart of account? Maybe you have not studied like a commerce, you have not studied anything. But when you are entering into a new domain, understanding these jargons is very, very important. Okay, so today we have AI that helps us quickly understand any domain. Earlier, it is a big challenge for BAs, knowing the domain, learning the domain. But without any help, if you know the prompts, I give you the prompt library with which you can research, you can learn the domains, whether it is a retail, e-commerce, or a healthcare, or a banking. Just first, what is the summary of that industry? What is the outlook of that particular industry or a sector? What is the businesses? What is the operations? What is the functions? How the management structure looks like? What is the processes? Everything will be, if you give the prompt, you can learn it. Only thing is, we should be able to give some quality time to read that study. That's it. Earlier, we used to do research, lot of research. Okay, so and regulation in that specific. Let's say if you are working in a pharmacy, pharma industry, they are very tightly regulated. That what is that regulation? Okay, the GMP practices will be there. Good manufacturing practices. What does it mean, GMP practices? This is a new field, but how do I learn? How do I learn those terms? So the jargons is very, that's why we call this ubiquitous language. Okay. Domain analysis, ubiquitous language is very, very important. Uh, so which functions are closely related? Which functions are core to the, let's say, example, I will give you that e-commerce. What is the one core function? One of ordering. Ordering is the core function, right? Then rest other supporting functions like payment gateway, payments, and returns, and again the product procurement, vendor management. All these are the supporting to this core ordering process. If you go to the healthcare, maybe there could be a different core will be there, core function will be there, and the supporting functions will be there. So this is what we will detail, we will talk about this in detail in the real next sessions, okay, in the curriculum. And this is the tool you must have as a business analyst, domain analysis, because today all architects are doing the microservices architect. Maybe you are very new to this term, microservices in the tech domain, but Amazon and every big companies are practicing microservices, independent scaling, distributed computing. In order to design distributed systems, domain analysis is the key, whether they are a tech or a business. If they are a functional or non-functional, everyone should know the domain analysis. The boundary, the context is very, very important. Bounded context. Typically, we call it as bounded context. Okay, we will talk about that. And yeah, this is quick. Just identify the domain. Okay, because the problem will throw at you, but the problem is in which domain and subdomain and supporting domain where, and model that domain. What does it mean, modeling? Maybe you can draw something in a pictorial way. I can show you in a just few minutes. And use ubiquitous language. Here it is that, because see, this is the biggest gap. What is they might ask you in interview, what is the challenge that you face in this project? Let's say if you are keeping some experience, you can say the jargons. is always a challenge, because I'll give you one example. This happened in the most recent projects we are working. We are doing an AI project. The AI project is all about this, the same which I'm talking in this, uh, uh, in this sessions. This is all about automating the invoice extraction with the help of AI, and it should be able to generate an Excel automatically. Whenever an invoice received an Gmail, and automatically it will be extract the invoice data, even the products, line items, and the all the data in the invoice PDF invoice, which will be extracted and put it into an Excel. This is an AI project, and whatever the data that is received, let's say I'm going to show you, but I don't want to. Yeah, this is kind of an Excel. Okay, the data. See, this is the data. This is the data extracted by AI. But whenever this comes, here it is the challenge. See, this is the data which is completely a semi-structured data. Um, each product should go into a account ledger, expense or income or expense. You know that, like, something, basic accounting principles, like asset and liability and income and expense, right? There is a domain expert we have, okay, from Latin America, and she used to talk about three terms, which are ledger, chart of account, okay, and account. What is these three, are the same or are they different? We are confused actually. So end of the day, it must have, we developed it ledgers, posting the ledgers, right? So the data which we have extracted, that's supposed to be posted in a ledgers, but there is a chart of accounts concept. When she is demoing that, like I was there in the call, she was demoing that, what happened actually, that the general manager just surprised that, hey, um, you're whatever you're talking about, that ledger and all, that is not true. Okay, there is a different meaning. So what happened, this is an ambiguity. Okay, this is, we call it as an ambiguity because of the misinterpretation of actual the expectation, right? So this is the biggest challenge for a VS. Okay, what is the biggest challenge that you face? If you don't understand the key terms in the domain which we are working, whether it is a banking domain or insurance domain or healthcare domain or any domain, first understand this. Okay, the bridge, the communication gaps, the communication gap. That is what they are hiring a business analyst. It's not just fancy. Okay, they are hiring to minimize the gap, not just adding the gaps. Okay, we are not going to create more mess. Just business analyst is the bridge between the tech and the business. The client or a PO is to bridge the gaps, not to create the gaps. But how do you bridge the gap? Like, understanding the terms, understanding the domain is very, very important. Okay, so if I don't know the term, we should be able to clarify, but we shouldn't act like that I know everything. I don't know, I don't know. It is an opportunity to know. So think clearly. That is very, very important for a business analyst. That's what we talked about earlier, that the thinking modes is very, very important. I apply that. I always clear. I am always clear. If I don't know, I don't know. If I have 27 years of experience or 30 years of experience, it doesn't matter. If I know it, I know. If I don't know it, clearly I'll ask, hey, can you elaborate that? Why? Why always? So sometimes why? Because I always apply this root cause analysis method. Okay, we will teach you the same thing with you. So domain analysis is very, very important towards writing the requirements. Okay, right. Today we will see some problem, just a high level, how the problems looks like. When we are solving the problem, how it looks like. We can take a retail sector or an industry where one of the firm, which maybe you can name it, whatever the firm name, like ABC company. ABC company is facing a chain. They are into retail chain. They have a revenue, blah blah blah, and they have the profits, and they have stores. But the problem they are facing is this. This is what I'm highlighting actually. Okay, this is what the indicator they are facing. The performance is not good. See. Vendor invoices taking more than 10 days. This is not the industry benchmark, because of which the, they are losing the discounts from the vendors, because vendors gives the discounts if it gets paid in, before the cycle. Maybe this is kind of uh, arrangements in the marketplace, right? Who is a vendor? Who supplies the items or products to us? Okay, for this e-commerce, like how it works, Amazon or whatever the companies that you see, they, Amazon doesn't own any single product. They will be listed by the vendors, right? Vendors gets paid all the time, maybe it's a commission or whatever it is, like, right? But this is not Amazon. This is something which is a different business, retail business. They have a e-commerce, let's say, think of, and vendors are supplying the inventory. Yeah, vendors are supplying the supplies to this firm, but they are raising the invoice, okay, and the invoice is not getting paid to them on time. Therefore, there are two miss here. One is they are missing the discount if they pay before. Another thing is that if they pay delayed, okay, maybe per day, or based on the terms and conditions, they should be able to pay extra, right? And the third thing is that the commitment loses, like, the vendor is not going to trust him, because he supplies the same product to the your competitor more in a quality and variety, okay? Because which your shelf, your this shelves are going to be like, product is not available in the shelf as when you go and visit. Vendor is very very important for a e-commerce business. If he is not going to supply the products to you, he is not going to supply the variety of the products to you and the volumes to you, then the customer is not going to see the products. Let's say if you have two e-commerces in India, quick commerce, let's say in India, we have Jepto and Blinkit. I see both the products, Blinkit and Blinkit. These are the quick commerce. They deliver the products less than 10 minutes or 5 minutes. If you sit in the sofa and give it the order, it will be right there. The variety of products in Blinkit is more than Jepto. Jepto is playing, their inventories are different and Blinko inventories are different. If you find a kind of a wine, let's say non-alcoholic wine, it is available in Blinkit, but that is not available in Jepto. Okay, they are two different things, but they are going to. This is what I'm talking about, the variety, and they maintain the vendors, and the product should be available whether customer buys or don't buy. That is a different analysis we will talk about later, right? But vendor payments is very very important. This is what this company is facing the issue. How do you solve it? Let's say, how do we solve? As a tech company, you are working as a business analyst. You are not going to solve as a business analyst, right? So there is a project manager, there is a sales team, there is a management, then decide a lot of things. There is an architect, everybody will be there. But we are a business analyst. How do you think this? Okay, this is, let's say, first understand, as I mentioned earlier, we should be able to research and understand how the retail business works. Yesterday, we see that actually I show the Claude AI, where it generated all the details that the study, like about the e-commerce. Okay, I'll give the prompt also if required. And this is what domain analysis. This is, we call it as domain. You should be able to draw like this. This is called modeling. I modeled the domain. First, I modeled like this. How, hey DP, how do you know this? Because I don't know. I don't know retail earlier. I learned, like, what is, I made a research and I connected with, subject matter experts, and I come across that for retail domain works like this. Okay. Order is the key or a core function of any e-commerce business, right? End of the day, they should be able to sell the product, right? And now the problem which is facing is something which is vendor related and vendor invoice related. Just I need to spot that specific domain in the whole e-commerce system, because we are not solving the whole e-commerce, right? That is another mistake that business analysts we do, that we are not solving the whole problem. We should be able to identify the space, domain space. Okay, Ishwar is asking about yes, this course, actually, there is a detailed information that is we are going to share, that how long this course and curriculum and all these things. But today is all about that, what is the tools that we are going to cover. This is what we are talking about. Domain analysis is one of the, like a module. Okay, first this is starts with initial domain analysis is the key, right? So we should be able to, yes, detailed course contents will be sent key, right? So this is one tool or a skill set that you should be able to have. Now see this, because vendor invoices comes under account payables. That is what I learned from the subject matter experts. That is why domain analysis is very, very important. Spotting the specific field or area is very, very important, because you have a limited time and energy. Okay, we are not solving the whole e-commerce problem. You should be able to narrow down that the problem domain area. If you don't understand the problem domain area, right, so always we will be confused. We don't know, because we have a limited time and energy, right? So they will give us, hey, this is in a week. We should be able to identify what is the themes and what is the, like, requirements we should be able to write to solve this problem. Okay, what business wants to achieve. So should you write for order fulfillment or shopping basket and the payment processing or blah blah blah? No. First of all, we should be able to spot and narrow down the problem domain or area, you can say. Now we spot it here. This is how. Because if you can visualize things like this, visual thinking, and model like this, if you can search in Google how to model like, domain analysis diagrams looks like, even if it's available in Microsoft sources also, I can share it later. Okay, in the classes. Yes, account payables is a part concerned under procurement. Okay, and that comes again under accounting. Okay, I'm talking about in general. But if you are very specific to a firm, okay, then this structure might be different. This, the way it connected may be different. Okay, every company to company, they will be structured in their practices, based on their practice, based on their operations. But we should be able to first research and analyze. And before analyze, I always suggest a model. Model means this is a model. Example is modeling. Modeling is nothing but something, a documenting process. I'm repeating it again. Modeling is nothing but a documenting process. There are three formats. One is text format, table format, and diagrammatic format. So as a business analyst, effective communication and collaboration, the visual way of doing things is much better than the words. Words speaks less. Images speaks more, you know, effectiveness. Effective. What does it mean, effectiveness? Minimizes the gaps. That's it. Effectiveness is all about minimizes the gaps. Okay. Therefore, always you will learn that skill, like, how to model. What tools you are going to use, we will give you that Visio, Lucid Chart, and I can show you if required that draw.io. That is also we have shared with, curriculum also. Okay, draw.io and all. Okay, because we have a lot of things to cover. That's what I'm skipping the tools, but definitely we are going to learn the tools, that how to do the modeling. Like Visio is the tool, but it's a licensed tool. But uh, the equivalent tools, or like Draw.io, Lucidchart, they are cloud tools with which we can do this. Even you can do it in a Word, MS Word, or sorry, MS Paint, or a PowerPoint also, but they are not the right tools. We can teach you the right tools, that how to model diagrammatic way to minimize the gaps in communication and collaboration. Okay, so we have spotted down here, and this is another uh, diagram, which is context diagram, zeroth level, which gives the big picture, how whole e-commerce system works. Like, let's say e-commerce, this, who are the external entities? Who are the external entities? That's what I told you, that the process of identifying and listing the entities or requirements is the very, very important for a business analyst, right? Identifying the list. So here in the context diagram, this is also a modeling technique, okay, which minimizes the gap in understanding and others to make others understanding. This is a context diagram which helps to understand, oh, this is what the customer is going to be there, vendor is going to be there, okay, and payment gateways will be there, and maybe other integrations like email integrations. Maybe we can draw this diagram, right? So always a scope for improvement. But I'm showing you currently that just an example e-commerce context. Context means something which is a big picture. It's a 500 feet. So we will go down, narrow down that because we are facing and here the problem is vendor payments. Vendor payments means I don't look here, I look here. Okay, because supplier is going to be the vendor. Okay, he is going to be like pay invoices. Here, see this process, pay invoices. Here it is the problem. The domain, here it is. We should be able to look at. Okay, so these minimizes the gaps in business analysis, whether you communicate with others or to make others understand or you understand, you learn something. This is the way, right? So another thing is that the problem which we are solving is that why the vendor invoices, here it is that this process, paying invoices, payables, we call it as account payables, okay, is a problem now. Okay, that's what I spotted out. This is the problem domain. I need to focus here, not the whole. Okay, we narrow down our focus. Now there is a tool by the name root cause analysis. Okay, root cause analysis is a problem solving technique. Like when we are thinking of a problem solving, always remember these three things. What is the current state? What is the future state? What is the challenges in between? Remember this. If it is you are solving a big enterprise business problem or maybe a personal problem, that is a different thing. Okay, we are not solving a personal problems. That is also same approach. You can follow the same approach. Like what is the current state? Hey, let's say I'm a jobless now. Current state. So in 2026, just I wanted to get into a job. That is a desired state. Between what is my challenges? That's a strategic tool that SWOT analysis. Simple SWOT analysis is enough, right? That is a strategic tool. What is my internal strength? What is my internal opportunities? Like internal. What is all about strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? What is my strengths? Internal strengths. Okay, and what is my internal weaknesses? And what is the opportunities available outside? And also threats outside. Yes, today the threat is AI for the people, tech people especially, and there is a new market opportunity also. Threat and opportunities of both are there. But what is your internal weaknesses? First, identify that. And what is your strengths? Yes, let's say if you ask DP, my strength is that okay, we are veterans, we all played multiple roles, and still I'm a hands-on. That is a key, competency that still I'm carrying, and I've adopted the new AI technologies and data analysis, data engineering, and AI with the functional things. That's my strength. And weaknesses, yes, everybody will have a weaknesses that okay, I don't get into the clerical things. I don't like it. That's my weakness. I always maybe a strategic side. I wanted to be like a leadership side. Okay, I wanted to be at least a managerial side, right? Because of experience. I don't like the. That's what my weakness. If somebody gave me, hey, create this particular Excel and create this input, all these schemes, no, I don't do it. Okay, because so therefore I can design my future state, what I wanted to be, which role I wanted to get into, an architect in data architecture or application architecture. I'll design my desired state, I'll wait for it. Or should I get into a job or I don't get into a job, or just I'll do my consulting thing. Consulting is all about advisory, right? Technical advisory, okay, which we are doing. So these are all approaches, all options that I have, and I'll choose one of them, right? This is the same thing happens with problem solving. What is the current state and what is the future state? And in the current state, why you, maybe you lost the job, why you lost the job? Okay, is it contract end, or is because of AI may fight, because of AI it is impacted you, or why? So that is what root cause analysis is very important in the current state. Okay, and therefore we can identify the actual cause which we solve, not the actual symptom. Please understand this. In a problem solving, always current state and the future state, in between the gap, and strategic tool like a SWOT, it's good. But in the current state, understand the root cause actually, which is not the symptom. Okay, why actually? Let's say in our case now, the invoices are not getting paid on time, which is taking 18 days, 10 days, greater than about 10 days. But what is their performance indicator is less than 4 days. It's supposed to be paid. Okay, but it's not getting paid. Why? In the current state, in the current process, what is happening in the current process? Just as an analyst, we should be able to look at that first. And why? That is the technique which we call it as. Yeah, there is another technique, fishbone technique is also there, but this is the easiest technique, which with why invoices are paid late. Why? And the reason is that AP team is taking too long time. How do you know, DP? This is what something you put it here, right? So I interacted with the stakeholders. That is what collaboration is so important. Communication is so important, right? So I collaborated with the account payables team because I've identified the problem domain. I'm not talking to the people of customers. Why? Because I've identified the problem domain, that the problem spotted in the account payables team, right? I spoke to the accounts payable team. They gave these answers. Hey, the reason is that they are taking long time because why? Again, I asked why. Then invoices are sitting for days before anyone starts working on them because they are coming to the maybe email. Somebody should go and check all the time. Okay. And the reason is 50%, 40 to 50% invoices are coming to the digital format like in emails. Okay, and why there is no kind of like automatically that will be trigger a notification and something. No, manually you should be able to go and check. Okay, somebody workforce is required, and nowadays actually the business is also increasing, and the business is seasonal business. December 25th, okay, Jan 1st, these are the seasons they sell like anything. Therefore the products is also going to be procured high, and therefore the invoices is also high. That is a correlation, right? Therefore when the vendor invoices are getting increased, the more mess is created. Okay, therefore why finally we found that they are doing it everything manually, the process. Here the bottleneck, we call it as process bottleneck. Identified the process bottleneck. Okay, how do you analyze that? That is where the visual thinking, again, flowcharts for BAs, analytical thinking. This is what we are talking about. How do you think analytical, right? So analytical thinking is all about whole and its parts. Now here, understand the parts at a high level. This is, we call it as process map. Hey, this is high level. Receive vendor invoices, account reads manually and manually prepare the invoices. This is what example I'm showing, right? This is what they prepare like this, not exactly like this. um, Something in Excel sheet like this, and they will send it to the some other system, payment system. But till here there is an Excel that's supposed to be prepared. That's where the manual thing here, right? This we call it as process mapping, as is process map diagram. This is what visual thinking, one of the visual thinking tool you is supposed to model. How do you do it? Which tool? We are going to teach you that how to do it. Okay, then now move to this swim lane diagram. This is another type of tool which helps us who does what. Earlier it doesn't show that because we intentionally do that high level, but I want to know who does what. like who reads that specific role I want. Now, in order to get this, I have this swim lane diagram and an activity diagram. This is also, we can teach you that how to do this, which tool that's supposed to be used. Okay. The vendor warehouse sends the invoice, and email is a system. I'm talking the role, system role. The email or inbox is also one of the role which receives the inboxes. And here the manual. Here, if you look at more complex, this is the tasks. Three, four or five tasks are here because manually they are doing, which is average, which is taking 8.44 days or 10 days, which is taking average. Okay, that's what they reported to us. How would you know DP? Because again, collaboration. That is what the BA job is a bridge, right? We should be able to talk. You should be able to have a dialogue with them, ask questions. That's what how to conduct interviews. Also, one of the illustration technique we cover. Okay, stakeholders analysis, interviews. These are elicitation techniques. There are almost 10 elicitation techniques, out of which at least questionnaire, how to prepare a questionnaire and interviews is the key. Okay, we will teach you that. So based on that information gathered, okay, we understand this. Okay, we are not writing any requirements as of now. We are not using any tool as of now, right? So this is what something we identified as is the process bottleneck. We are trying to understand the bottleneck, actually why it is taking 10 days. Now we understand why. Okay, the process bottleneck is this payment, and now this is to be state. To be means something which is expected workflow. Expected means minimize the manual and automate something here. Automate means something like this. How would you decide automating things is a gap analysis. Let's say, what is the gaps here? What is the challenges that here? And what is the possible solutions? Okay, the SWOT analysis. What is the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities available in the market, and what is the weak threats also. Okay, after they come up with something like this. Who they means, when I say they means business analyst alone? No, not necessary. With the help of tech, who provides the solution? Okay, we should be able to, sync with them, do something collaboration with them, with the help of PO or a customer. We should be able to come with maybe this is the design blueprint, a workflow which might solve the problem. For this also, for gap analysis, typically we call it as what I told you, that the gap analysis and SWOT analysis is going to come here. Gap analysis is all about what is the current state, which takes 8 days. What is the future that is expecting every invoice should be finished less than 4 hours. Once the, whenever it gets paid, it should be able to pay. Not takes more than 10 days. Okay. This is what something we call it as in between. We do a gap analysis and SWOT analysis. This is very strategic analysis. Okay. Hey, there is a question. If I'm a junior level, mid-level BA, does it make sense to me all these things? Okay, in training we will cover all these things. That is what the value add for all of you, right? Then, in case if they ask, let's maybe a mid-level today AI, because of AI, they might ask you, hey, can you do a gap analysis? They're not looking at that whether you're a mid-level or a full stack or not full stack or something like this. The task might be given to you. But this kind of strategic analysis mostly seniors will do. Okay, who is having 6 years, 7 years, or maybe 10, 15 years, those people, they will do this kind of high level. But what the junior or mid-level BAs do, once this is done, once identified the solution, right? For that solution, we should be able to write the requirements. Come to here. Okay, maybe a senior business analyst might do this strategic analysis like SWOT analysis, gap analysis, and current state analysis and future state analysis. Okay, everything is done. Then once the solution is identified, then we should be able to write. And maybe a mid-level or a junior level BA supposed to, their job is to do kind of identifying, listing out the process of business analysis, like writing the requirements. identifying the requirements. How to do that? First of all, learn that what is a need and a problem. What is a requirement? First of all, this is the two definitions we should know. Need is a problem or an opportunity. That is at a strategic level. We have already identified that. Requirements is all about the conditions or capabilities. In Agile today, we are calling it as user stories. Okay, what is Agile? We can talk a little bit about that. But understand the key difference between a need and a requirement. So far, we identified the need. The need is to build an account payable system. See here. This is the need. This is how we are doing it. Yes, why we are doing it. So far, we are clear. Why we are doing it is because we should be able to complete it less than 4 hours. This is what the change, because maybe a senior business analyst or consultants or big guys will do this kind of strategic analysis, gap analysis, SWOT analysis, and everything. Once this is done, okay, solution is identified and clear. The strategic means I have already mentioned earlier that the goals and objectives are clear. Now the goal and objective is to build a accounts payable system. Maybe the two, we build an application, software application, or maybe we can use automation tools. That will be decided by the strategy based on the SWOT analysis. Okay, once that is done, then the requirement starts. Requirements means the conditions or capabilities that satisfy this particular problem. Okay, now we have this goal or an objective that we should be able to build an account payable system that's supposed to solve their problem. We have already talked about the current state. The problem is this, the bottleneck, where which is taking 8.4. The metric is not meeting. The key performance indicator, we call it as KPI, key performance indicator, is not meeting. But here it's supposed to. Why it's supposed to meet? Because we satisfy the vendors also. Because the vendor should supply and the vendor should love us to fill the shelves, right? So therefore, okay, now this will be understand the quickly the types of requirements. See, this is already business need identified. That is a very starting point. This is very strategic. And what business wants to achieve. There are four types of requirements: business requirements, stakeholders requirements, solution requirements, and transition requirements. And after that is the working solution. The problem is that it is taking 10 days or 8.4 days to processing an average vendor invoice. But here the solution is less than 4 hours, it is supposed to be. How do we achieve? They have a clear strategy, right? The option they have selected, the clear design is there. Clear design is there. This is the goal and objective. Why they decided, maybe they did the gap analysis and SWOT analysis. Okay, we can do it with AI also. I have prompts, I will give it to you. Whether you are a senior or a junior or a mid-level, anybody can do this today. It's not about the seniority, because AI is, artificial intelligence is cheap. Intelligence is cheap. Okay, whether you are a 20 years of experience, 30 years of experience, or zero experience. Today, all our level field is leveling the field. Okay, because of AI. So you can also do it whether it doesn't matter now, it's a low level or a mid level or a senior level BA. Okay, right. Now we need to write the requirements. When I say a requirement, a condition or a capability that satisfies our need. What is the need now? Here it is, the problem is here. 8.4 days it is taking, but the solution is here, right? And the architects and management is, done with analysis and SWOT analysis also. They come up with, they wanted to go with an automation way, which they wanted to use the N8N tool. Let's say example I'm giving, just kind of project side. Okay, N8N. N8N is an platform where you can automate things. You can fasten the things with the help of agentic automation, also possible. Agentic automation means AI. You can integrate a lot of things. You can integrate emails, you can integrate with AI, you can integrate with SAP, you can integrate with WhatsApp, you can integrate with Google Sheets, you can integrate with whatever you want, you can do it with an item. Today, those are the tools available. There are other tools also available, like um, uh, Microsoft Power Apps is also one tools. Okay, but To solve this problem, to achieve this solution, they've identified the technologies, N8N technology, N8N tool, and the automation technology. Okay, that's it. Now we need to write the requirements. The problem is not just solving 8.4 hours to 4 hours, 8.4 days to hours. It's almost 90%, or maybe more than 90% efficiency that comes here. Apart from that, okay, there is other requirements also. I'll talk about that. Business wants to achieve that, what actually automate completely. Also, they wanted to see the reports and dashboards of the data. What is that reports and dashboards? We will talk in a minute. And the stakeholders, very specific stakeholders like auditors, like they wanted to see the VAT, how much VAT supposed to be paid and everything. It's not just only, we are not solving just the speed. Also, they wanted to make informed decisions with different reports and no, different dashboards. That is their requirements. Okay, because in order to improve, in case any invoices, bunch of invoices are not getting paid, maybe might be possible they are not processed, though you are automating, but they wanted to see all those, and they wanted to see what products supplied more by which vendor, and lot of questions. They have business questions, they need to be answered in a data way, right? Data analysis and data business intelligence way. That's what we can see. So stakeholders share this kind of requirements. Hey, we want a report, we want a dashboard, we want a review form here, somebody should approve, then only it should be able to go and generate the Excel. So these kind of requirements comes from business and stakeholder. These are the two types of requirements: business requirements and stakeholders requirements. And this is what the solution. Let's say if they are asking for dashboard or a reports, so we should be able to write those requirements. How do you write those requirements? We can teach you that. Okay. And transition is something which once it is deployed, the application is deployed. Let's say maybe I can show you how it looks like. Okay, this is what something it looks like. I'm giving you something, a teaser, how it should look like. The workflow, N8N workflow, this is it looks like. Okay, this runs every 5 minutes, it runs every 5 minutes, it runs automated. Every 5 minutes it runs, every 5 minutes it runs. And once it is running, then it will generate this kind of an Excel. Okay, and from this Excel, they wanted to see this kind of reports. Therefore, now they are solving a problem like vendor invoices getting paid on time. Also, they wanted to see which product is, which vendor is, sending more products. Earlier, this is completely missing. That is another problem they are facing. Actually, they don't have an kind of. Okay, let me refresh. If possible, I will show you that this is running in my local. Okay, let me uh, proceed with this. The types of requirements which we are talking about. Let's say after training, you have this skill, you will get this skill. If I speak something a statement, you should be able to put into that basket. Okay, that's the skill set you should be able to have. Let's say customer speaks many things. Hey DP, how would you know this is a business requirement? How would you know this is a stakeholder? How would you know this is the solution requirement or a transition requirement? Because I got trained and I'm already doing this practice for the last 2 decades, right? So systems analysis and design is the first job role in the very 1996 I have 1997, which I worked with BHP, Bar Heavy Plates and Vessels. It's a government enterprise where we used to go and sit with them. We understand their requirements. When there was no internet, we used to develop very visual basic COBOL, those kind of applications with connecting the very file based databases, no relational databases, no distributed databases. Today, a lot of technology. But then also we visited the customer place and asked a lot of questions and identified. But we are very young and we are immature then those days. But we do all those documentation those days, like use case diagrams, flow diagrams, everything. In academics also they used to teach that. In our software engineering trainings also they teach us that, hey, this is what something you should be able to do. Modeling and everything, they are old. Okay, still in after 25 years also that makes sense. Analysis is very, very important. Systems analysis and design. Okay, here, how would you know? The same, you will get the same thing, same competence. Hey, if I speak something, hey, the system should be able to perform very fast. What requirement it is? Is it a non-functional requirement or a functional requirement? If you get trained, you will know that in which bucket you should be able to place. Okay, so that is what we will train you on this. What is the types of requirements and how to write? Okay, requirements. I show you that how the requirements look like. Um, okay, this is I created a board which I'm showing you. Actually, there is another tool which we are going to show you. The Lakshmi and the team is going to create for all of us that Jira. Jira is the tool is a project management tool for flexible project management. It's an agile. Okay. Here it is the backlog we created for the same problem statement. These are the requirements. See, there are the two main features which we are building as of now. Maybe the features are going to be added like security feature, login feature, forget password. Okay. Reset password. Those features, security features are also going to come. But for now, just one feature is that end-to-end email to Excel automation or SAP automation AI-driven pipeline. This is what something we wanted to do. These are the two user stories: AI-powered data extraction and automated anything if exception happen. This is what these are the two functional, like the automation requirements, and this is the main feature. If these two are completed, implemented by development team, this feature is completed. Okay, it is completely in new state. Every feature, every story will have a life cycle and a structure. This is the structure I'm showing you. Feature, and there is an epic also. Under epic, everything will be there. Epic is something which is a larger value that is going to be delivered. Okay, these see this. Epic is the symbol is like this. Feature symbol is like this. Story symbol is like. Actual requirement is this. Actual requirement is this. Let's say if I open something, a requirement. This is a requirement, is a reporting requirement, data requirement, where as a procurement manager, I wanted to see the dashboard breaking down spend into the products so that I can depict the purchases across products. All the products I wanted to see and compare. This is the acceptance criteria. What is the acceptance rate? Hey DP, how would I write all these things? You're showing that is which is already created. This is not something which is overnight we can do it. No. Always communication, collaboration. You need to talk to and identify the requirements first. Identify. This is the process always. Identify list. Process of identifying and listing out the requirements and putting them into the baskets that this is a function requirement or non-functional requirement or something like this. Stakeholders requirement or business requirement. We should be able to put it that into the basket, whether it becomes a feature or an epic or something like this. This is what the tool. But actual in training, we are going to teach you that Jira, Jedi. But what is that which I am showing you? Which I am showing you currently Azure DevOps, which is another subscription. It's a paid subscription from there, which we are showing how the backlog looks like. Typically, this is where mid-level or something, it's a junior business analyst are going to most of the time. This is what your job is to refine the requirements, means adding the acceptance criteria into these requirements. Okay, and see this is data requirements like reporting requirements. AP visibility reports and dashboards. These are the more data requirements. We will spend more time on this. Okay, because automation requirements are very less, but data requirements are here. Data analysis, okay, and dashboarding is more requirements here. How to write it? Yes, we can teach you that in the real classes. Okay, next come back to here it is the types of requirements we understand. Let's quickly understand SDLC. This is also one of the curriculum. Okay, SDLC is a software development lifecycle. There are two approaches: waterfall and agile. Today, most of the companies, almost majority of companies, practicing agile way software development, like whether it is automation project or web application development migration project, irrespective of the project, they are following an agile way. What is the difference? Think of cooking and baking. Always, I'll give this analogy. Cooking, baking is all about something. It's a plan. Everything you should be able to prepare first and put it in the oven. Then you will see the taste of it in the end. Start and end. In between, you don't have a control. There is a minimization of your control. There is a risk, but there is also something, it's a benefit. But you should plan everything in the very beginning. But today we are living in a world where very fast living, fast economy is moving very fast. The markets are moving very fast. The competitors are coming up like anything. And where if you are spending year, which is changing a lot of business outlook, right? Plan driven is nowadays, it's not the best fit. Today, it's a fast moving, rapid developments that's happening in the marketplace and the business is therefore an agile. Agile is nothing but more like a cooking process where you have the maximized control and minimized risk. Therefore, start in between and end, the customer is going to be involved all the time. See, here it is a gingerbread. Like everything should be able to plan. Okay, everything should be able to plan and end only we'll see. So just we can see this quick glance. The customer is going to be involved in the beginning and the end. Maybe in the end, after 6 months or 1 year, you might be surprised. Hey, this is what not I'm expecting. That is the biggest surprise. But in agile, is not like this. The customer is always in the loop, and we will give them the demos all the time. Like for every 4 weeks or maybe every month, we are going to give them the demo. Hey, this is what something an output, and give your feedback accordingly. We will do it in the next, because agile is iterative and incremental. See this change driven, more always open to the negotiations. But here, no room for negotiations here is clear. And the next is minimize the risk through control. But here it is maximize the value. Today is people love delivering the value. Okay. So whatever the value, low hanging fruit is very important, right? So that is what here it is very rapid development happens in a agile. And if any change, the customer wants to make any change, hey, this is what the dashboard which we were
Be
talking about,
careful.
these requirements.
Be
Can you
careful.
make changes? Okay, can you make changes? It's very flexible here in the agile. Okay, but in
Oh, it's time for you to eat.
DP,
Come
there is
and
a
drink.
lot of background noise. Can you please mute the participant?
yeah, in waterfall, this is tightly coupled. Silos means the teams is also silo based approach. The BA is going to document BRD and FRD. It will not throw, but it will be given to the design and architects team and the development tech team. They will take from there. From there, the QA team will take. That's kind of a sequential waterfall. But if something happened in the end, it's difficult to come back. That's what it's a brick to brick. It's a tightly coupled. But it's agile is loosely coupled, something which is very flexible. That's what it's a successful approach in industry. 2000 onwards only it's possible. Earlier in 2000s, we never heard of this Scrum. Okay, we used to follow the kind of how the car is going to be manufactured, how the house is going to be manufactured. The same we followed. But in 2000s, there is a change coming in that is called Scrum framework, which is invented, not discovered by two doctors. They are not tech people. Okay, please. They're two doctors who come up with this framework. Hey, if you do it this way, definitely you're 100% success. Do you know what is the success rate of in the 90s? What is the success rate of a software development project? 6%. Still, I remember 6 to 7%. But what is the percent of success today? What is the software project if you start? According to the IAB and KPMG, that's the most recent survey that is 37%, even after 30 years of industry. Okay, now we are improving that. Maybe today we have AI. Maybe we can improve that efficiency. Okay, in a fastest way. And because software development is means a complex thing, right? There will be a gaps for sure. That is what BA is required for sure. BA is the gap, bridge the gap. Why? Because to bring the effectiveness in the project. How the effectiveness comes to the project? Because the requirements should be clear. Why requirements are not clear? Is it the customer problem or PO problem? No, it is somebody. The problem is in the industry is directly we do the tech development without doing proper business analysis. But because of AI, we really bow down to the AI because AI is emphasizing on the spec, and even no tech backgrounds also build the softwares. Even BAs can build. That is what happening. Citizen development and citizen developers coming up. That's what this is the role. Tech BA is nothing but what you should be able to have the tech skills, semi-tech skills, not completely. You are not going to write a JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and Java and .NET and those things. I'm not talking about that. Okay, we at least have this. What is the API? What is database? What is data? How it is structured? We should be able to know. So Agile Scrum is one of the hard skill you should be able to have. What is the Scrum? You should be able to have at least an interview. This is a mindset. This is not the technology. This is not the framework. This is a mindset shift from a plan driven to the completely agile and flexible team based approach. Okay, like if you look at that, Subway, if you go and everything you can customize, based, they will ask a lot of questions. Hey, can I put it this like sauce, like what sauce you want that? Okay, is it a mustard or blah blah blah, which bread do you, it's the which bread you want it, right? So everything is a choice. The strategy is right there, but here in Pandriven that misses. But I love this. But the in modern rapid today AI, maybe this is not, because a lot of changes happening very quick. Therefore, today in future also maybe agile. I don't know. Still, they are talking about ALDC, not SDLC. Software development is not going to be more. No more SDLC. AIDLC, Artificial Intelligence Development Lifecycle. Okay, this is a new term actually in the industry. AIDLC. Maybe you will not be surprised that is going to be popular in next few years. Okay, context engineering and application of AI software, AI development life cycles are coming into the pictures. Okay, right. How to write the requirements. This is what very important. We will talk about that. As a user, I want so that, because in agile I'm talking about, we are not living in a waterfall where we used to talk about use cases, use case scenarios, those terms in old days. But today it's a new world in a new way, and we are talking about user stories. This is a new term you need to understand if you are coming very new to the IT industry. User story is nothing but a requirement. But I told you that, right? So this is a new testament, new thing, right? Right. Here, as a user, what is that requirement is all about? What is the goal? Why I want it? And you should be able to implement, some best practices like invest principle. What is invest? Is independent, negotiable. Negotiable means I told you that agile is all about open. Just start it small. Don't be perfect. That is what the beauty of agile is, that for a business analyst, there's no need to be a perfect. Here I'm showing you the board, right? Do you think this is perfect? No. This is always a room to change and refine. Okay, but this is not going to happen in a day. This is happens in an iterative and incremental way, sitting with the PO and the client, right? Come back to the slide. Invest is independent, and every story requirement is something open. This is, don't try to, at least three scenarios is enough. Okay. When we are discussing with tech people and the PO, that's going to be changed. If something is going to the nature of going the prone to be changed, then why you should try to be perfect? Okay, there is no meaning. So therefore, always negotiable. It is not strict contract, detailed, can be discussed. It should be value, because always agile means value delivery. Deliver some value in short, right? And it should be estimatable, means technical people should look at that requirement. Let's say if I showcase this requirement, if you explain this requirement to the developer, hey, this is what acceptance criteria accept, this is the three steps, three scenarios are there. If we sit with planning, like we call it as sprint planning, in the sprint planning, if we give it to the developer, hey, how much time does it take, he will give you some points. We call it as story points. We call it as what? Story points. Story points will be assigned for this. This is called story points and risk. This is what story points means. One or a three or a 13 or something like that. That is nothing. We will discuss more details on the story points and all in the uh, coming up sessions, very specific to this agile scrum special user story writing. And small, always keep it small, because this principle always need to open to the negotiation, right? It can be anything. So therefore, keep it simple, and it should be testable. Help the testers to write the test cases. Okay, because testing is very, very important. Your validation process is very, very important. That's why our colleague is tested. The tester is also should be able to test this. Is it testable? Is it can be something, how I can test it? What is the uh, steps that I can do to test it? Think that. If you are able to think in this direction, in this direction, you are very effective. No gaps. Very efficient and effective user story writing. And there is an uh, how to write, kind of given when then. We will teach you that, how to write a scenario. Given this screen, user inputs, then the system should be able to do something like this. Okay. This is, we will train you how to practice this kind of thing, and avoiding, like, the gaps in writing the user. Like, don't write too much technical. If it is a technical, let's consult with technical people and create a placeholder and ask them to write the acceptance criteria. In case if you send something which is a non-functional type of requirement, which we already talked about, that the type of requirements. Hey, if it is an NFR means non-functional requirement. We will detail that. Don't worry now. We will talk about that more detail. What is the type of requirements, functional requirements and non-functional requirements? Okay, non-functional requirements are the requirements which is more of a tech side, which is infrastructure side, which is more of deployment side. Okay, functional requirements are all about something, how the software should function. What are the features that we should be able to focus? Each feature, what is the requirement, and under that requirement, what is the functionality? Okay, that is what we should be able to look at. Right. So, yeah, assume that you worked with maybe few weeks, interacting, collaborating with, facilitating meetings with a PO and the client, and together we groom these requirements. Okay, once this is requirements, this feature we need to implement first. This feature is just like it, data extraction and automated validation log, right? How they are going to implement this is what we talk about this workflow. N8N that's we are going to use in the end. This is what the project we are talking about, right? So in this project, you can do by yourself also. We can teach you, but you need to have some credentials. We can teach you that what is the like requirements you have, how to integrate. uh, if we have 8, right? So let me show you. If you can send an invoice to me, but how that is going to be expected. So where do you send the invoice, right? So where do we see this? See this, there is, I've already have something in a dedicated email created to receive the email, let's say, and labeled as invoice and invoice single. Just I wanted to send an invoice to this particular vendor from DP. I'm the supplier to this particular company, ABC company, which I'm talking about, that they are facing the issue, right? Let me send this, okay, this invoice to this company, ABC company. They provided this dedicated email for all the suppliers, SSW user 001. SS, okay, this is the one which I'm check. Let me check this. Okay, there is an invoice attachment should be there. Let me send it, and we will receive it here. Typically, okay, we will receive. This is ABC company's. Okay, assume that this is an ABC company's. Okay, yeah, this is we received it, right? So I will do it. What I will do it, just for example's sake, I'll change the label as put it into the invoice. Here the goal is, see, this is the label, because the N8N code is developed in such a way that it reads the data automatically. I told you that this is an automation. This is the trigger which triggers for every 5 minutes. But I've not enabled it. I will trigger it manually. Okay. Here we have configured that read whatever the invoices that comes under this label invoice, read it, and I'll show you that what is there in the invoice. Okay, invoice is nothing but what it looks like this, right? Hey, this is the invoice. For me it is generated. Okay, this is generated like an invoice. Okay, I use something which is AI, uh, Azure something. Okay, that because of which Microsoft send an invoice to me. Okay, I'm using that invoice for that example sake. Okay, let's come to our okay, minimize this. Okay, this is, you can do it your every day. If something, it's a process, you can do it. Your job is also automated. Okay, you can do that if you know, if you learn this tool. See, if you, this is one step which triggers. When I say if it is triggers, I show the Excel also, the record. Okay, the Excel also I'm using here. Excel, here it is, sheets, right? In the same SS user, ABC company. Okay, ABC company, this is the sheet. Okay, in this sheet, okay, I'll remove this, let's say. Okay, this is an example, maybe this might fail also. Don't uh, okay, let's say I've removed it. What if that, if I run this, okay, it is executing the whole flow. What is this? First, it will check the invoice from the email. See, this is getting labels. See here, it is the flow here. It is sending it to the AI. I use the AI Llama. There is a model which is by the name Llama. Okay, we can give you a little bit details about Llama. Llama is a model. See, and that extracts the data. And once it is extracted the data, see this is extracted. Now here it is running. See this, all checkboxes, now it is working here. All rules and open API, like open AI, some intelligence we have used, and this is going to send to the reconciliation sheet. And once that is done, see this is successful. This is now currently running, right? And it will append to the Excel, and it will change the label from, see, this is done, successful. Now finally, yes, let's check. What are the checks? Now validation is, now earlier the invoice is moved. See this, I'm not done anything just, right? It is removed and it is kept it here in the, this. Yeah, not mastered actually. I'll give the template because there are a lot of templates. You don't need to master because we are not the technical people. We don't do this kind of things. Just giving an example, okay? But if you wanted to master, yes, you can learn it. A lot of things. Okay, did I master this? No, just I used the template and I connected the dots. Integration. Today, yeah. Can we discuss this in the end? Okay, just I'll miss the flow. Right now, I'll open this. Okay, see this. I done nothing. See, this is added. If you check the data and everything, right? So that will be the, see, we will check this 4,000 something like this. If I open and see this, the data should be there. Okay, that should be there and extracted. Okay, this one, this is the value. This is the value that is there. So what I wanted to demonstrate here is that the problems can be solved this way. Where we have started with vendors are not getting paid on time. But if there is no manual, like not going to the email and checking all these, extracting the data and creating an Excel like this, it is a cumbersome. That's the reason, which is the performance indicator KPI is 8 point something, like 10 days, which is taking, right? Therefore, if we really implement this kind of a solution, okay, this is the solution they've identified and implemented. Now, whatever the number of invoices that comes from the vendors, it runs every 5 minutes, it triggers, the same what it done, that will be created into an Excel sheet like this. The data is captured. This is why we call it as transactional data, or something we captured the data now. This is data is ingested with an automation, right? Now there is more requirements from the client, the stakeholders requirement, the business requirements and the stakeholders requirements. What are those requirements is data. Hey, I have this data, right? Lot of data coming up. Now I wanted to see this. These are the requirements. They've already shared. These are the requirements they wanted. This is completed. This feature is implemented, right? Now there is a new feature. They want reports and dashboards. What the dashboards and reports they need is total spend by the supplier and monthly invoices total and spend by products. I wanted to see the products and VAT for auditor related, and for executive they wanted to see the key metrics and share downloadable report. See, and this is supplier performance. Okay, supplier performance by count and total report, and product lines, like each product I wanted to analyze, and invoices by date, and interactive filters on the dashboard. Like I should be able to select, filters, and I can set by location from Hyderabad or from Victoria, from Australia, or maybe it is, think of that it's a global e-commerce forum, right? So I wanted to see that which suppliers, what products and everything. Just I wanted to see the reports in filters and paginations. And summary, exportable means I wanted to download that. Okay, these almost 10 requirements from stakeholders. Data requirements today is everybody wants, the like dashboards, reports and all. How do we do that? This, once the data is there, typically we call it as, the data is ingested, the data is captured, now not ingested, captured. how this data is capturing with some solution. What is the solution? Now it is an automation solution. Maybe this data is going to be captured with the help of mobile application. This is also possible. Maybe the ABC company can develop a mobile application and ask the uh, like the vendors to download that vendor app and upload their invoice, and automatically that will be captured like this also. That's also a possible solution. But they don't want to do this. They wanted to
Full liquor
do this
store is go try it, not here. Outside,
way. Okay.
go try it. There is a marathon. There is the liquor.
Right, please. Right. So this is a kind of solution that we have implemented. Assume that the feature is completed. Now the data analysis reports. This is second episode that we are talking about. They want all these time-based trends, supplier analysis, project line, team-based breakdown, like product lines. Sorry, this is products. Okay, we are here talking about invoices contains products, line items. Okay, typically we call it as line items, breakdown, and financial metrics like subtotals of each product from each supplier and all, because it's getting paid. But I wanted to see, they wanted to see this all these reports because now they have data captured. Very earlier also there is a data, but they don't have a dashboards like this. Okay, what is the use of reports and dashboards? It's an informed decision, right? So that is what business intelligence is all about. Business analytics or business intelligence, that is what the industry is looking for, the people who knows these skills. Data, understand the data, analyze the data. Before analyzing, you should be able to clean the data. If you don't clean the data, so I'll show you that data is not clean here. See, the data is completely mess, not mess actually, but this data is a structured and semi-structured. There is a, that's what we will discuss in the real classes, that the types of data, what is structured data, what is semi-structured data, what is completely unstructured data. Unstructured data means JSON like this. See, this is unstructured. Okay, completely like you can say it's a JSON is a semi-structured also. There is a debate, but yes, think of it's a semi-structured and structured. How the structured data looks like? See, this is a structured data. I'm showing you a tool which is a SQL database, MySQL database, where we can analyze the data. We can, even what business wants to solve questions like, hey, how many customers we have, how many customers have purchased this, what is the total amount, what is the price, what is the quantities they purchased. All these answers can be provided with the help of data analysis. How do you do it? There are ways. We can do data analysis with the different tools: SQL, Excel, SQL, Python, and even Power BI. Power BI adds reports and dashboards. Okay, in order to generate reports and dashboards, Power BI, Tableau, all these things. But in order to answer queries of business, that hey, how many vendors are get paid and how many vendors are supplied, how many products, the how many vendors registered with us but not supplied any product. Okay, how many vendors are supplied but not get paid on time. Lot of analytics, lot of insights that can be generated. How? You need to have a skill. That skill is, maybe you should be able to learn SQL. That is one very, very demanding skill nowadays in the marketplace. Okay. After functional analysis, like, what is the requirements? Once you documented that requirements, today all most of the requirements is all data requirements. Okay. These data requirements, like maybe you should be able to treat the data. What does it mean treating the data? Like, data is always a noise. Data contains noise. What does it mean noise means? See, this is purchase orders are missing. Some orders has purchase orders, but some orders doesn't have. See here, the supplier VAT number is missing in some. Okay, and here is also some very semi-structured data, because it's not completely structured. What does it mean structured? Structured means like this. See, rows and columns clearly structured. Okay, a table format which we referred as structured data. Okay, semi-structured data is like this. Semi-structured. What is unstructured data is nothing but a text. Like you can think of tweets. Tweets is completely unstructured data. Okay, sentiment analysis. A lot of analysis can be done on unstructured data. It's difficult. Okay, but today we are living in a world with semi-structured data like JSON, JavaScript object notation. This is one type of okay data. See this here, and another type of, not type of data, the representation of data. Okay, this is table representation, completely structured in a table formats like this, but this is not like this. So if the data is sitting like this, it is difficult to generate reports, difficult to generate dashboards. what how do you do that? How do you generate reports and dashboards if the data is like this? There is one thing: cleaning or data wrangling or data messaging. Okay, so these things that comes into, there is a power BI power query is there with which we can do it. Okay, there is a power query transformation, data transformation, we call it as data transformations. If you don't transform the data with clean, then it is usable for reporting and dashboards. If the data is something like this, missing values and semi-structured, see, this is missing values and this is missing, and dates may be wrong format. Here it is two missing date values, right? So here it is, the data is completely not structured. Okay, if the data is in a structured format, then the possibility of creating reports like this is possible. See, I'm showing you something, a retail, again, analysis, overview, dashboard overview, it should look like. The same, the requirements are written there in the board which I'm showing you, right? So here it is. In this project, in this training, we wanted to build all these things with the data, using this data, same data. How this data is generating with the help of automation tool. Okay, maybe that data can be generated with a mobile app or a web application. That is also possible. But this data is generating with a solution N8N, right? Why? Why? Because we know it, right? So every vendor get paid on time. The cycle speed should be increased. Any business wants to increase the cycles speed. If the business doesn't want to increase, they are lagging or bottleneck with their cycles, they suffer the profit. End of the day, every business runs for a profit, right? They suffer profit because of their cycles are inefficient. So this automation tool generates like fast, efficient, and it generates data. This business wants to make use of this data like this. Total spend by supplier, monthly, these are the requirements. The feature that we are going to build is a dashboards and reports for account payables department. This is what the reports. In this training, we will build the same dashboards which we built for other trainings. This is what something, hey, sales analysis, retail sales analysis, okay, by store. We told you that this ABC company is having a 80 stores, right? So in 80 stores, which store is performing good, not good, and all also we can do it. But our use case which we are solving is vendor related, vendor invoices, vendor products, vendor payments, vendor VAT, how much VAT, who is getting paid on time, who is not getting paid on time, who is supplying the variety of products, who is supplying volumes. Okay, all these will be okay um, generated. Just I'm showing you the sample of Power BI dashboard which is generated the data like this. See, sales data, structured data, okay, items data. See the category and all. If the data is structured and usable, then only we are able to generate this kind of reports. Yes, you will get this kind of yes, you can do it. Maybe N8N, can I do it N8N end to end? the solution like software development. Can I do a complete web application? Can I do it a web application? Can I do it a mobile application? Can I do it a complete automation by myself? That requires an expertise. Okay, but you can write a SQL like this and generate uh, okay data like this, and you can export it and give it to the management or give it to your company, or you can generate reports and dashboards like this with the help of Power BI. That is quite possible. That's a skill set which we are going to, because that is what the industry is looking for. The combination of functional analysis. That's what we did it, right? So we picked up something, a problem statement from retail side, and the vendor focused vendor process is bottlenecked with something. It's a manual process. That manual process is optimized and speed up with the help of N8N. Okay, N8N you not necessarily be hands-on kind of a thing, but you can do it if you can learn. That is just quite doable. Okay, but we can give you that how to do it. One dedicated session, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, we can give you kind of. But yeah, how would I get the credentials? That is, three tiers are available. You can connect it. Okay, your email and your Excel sheet. That is a tool required, and OpenAI free tools are there, and Llama is also free tool. Okay, you no need to buy anything there. Okay, just to run this kind of, just if you want to do end-to-end project like this, yes, you can, and you can generate the reports and dashboards like this end of the day. So this is the value add to the customers, and if you can take this value on their table, they will hire you for sure. If in order to take this value on their table as a wealth, you need to have a skills. What is the skills that you need to have? So from, you need to domain analysis, context analysis, right? So, and maybe what is the current state analysis with the help of diagrams, applying the analytical thinking, and uh, gap analysis or a SWOT analysis. If you are a senior level, okay, it makes sense. And next is writing the requirements. Using the tools like Jira and Confluence. That is what we are going to we will show you that. I showcased something in Azure DevOps code. That is also a tool, but we extensively cover the Jira and Confluence. That is, Confluence is documentation tool. Okay. And Jira is to the same tool, the same. Okay, same, but the look and feel is different. But this is belongs to Microsoft, that is belongs to Atlassian. There are two different key differentiators. But rest of the is project management, agile project management. In ADO, there is a little bit more, additional features like connecting with GitHub and blah blah blah, and connecting with Azure, Azure deployments and all. That is the tech side. Okay, but this is, as a BA, we should be able to groom the backlog. We should be able to groom the backlog, and we should be able to participate in the sprint planning. See, this sprint planning is all about that. So how this is going to be used? Okay, these tools, and SQL is also the skill set that you should be able to have. It's a must skill. Okay, SQL is it's a mandatory skill. And next is the Power BI. How this data is going to be, download it here, and how to transform the data. And because in order to generate reports and dashboards, the data should be cleaning, transform data. That's we typically call it as data wrangling. Even with the help of AI, we can, because it's a today's AI is helping us. If you don't have much technical background, or if I don't know anything about it, no problem. With the help of AI, we can do, and we are experts in, inculcate these skills in a very progressive and in a journey. Definitely, you will get good experience in here. Completely end-to-end problem solving from functional analysis, data analysis. That is what is the key difference between functional analysis and data analysis? Functional analysis is all about what is the functions, means features that's supposed to be built in an application. Okay, and data analysis is all about once the data is captured on that data, what is the queries you can do and how you can generate reports and dashboards, meaning that useful transactional data. The data can be useful with the help of this thing. That is what, if I connect back the job description, the Deloitte job description, which we see in the very beginning, these are the same skills what they are asking for. If we look back and see here, we analyze this Deloitte job, but the title they are asking, I don't know, EMEA, RDM transformation business analyst. But end of the day, it's a business analyst. This is what they are looking for: a problem solving, solid analytical skills. SQL is required, relational databases, and you should be able to have the communication and collaboration skills to liaison between the like customer, what they wanted to achieve, and build the board that we have already showcased in the ADO board, right? Maybe you can use the Jira, where working under agile methodologies. You can search today business analyst job openings, okay, tech business analyst job openings in your browser. So you will find a lot of job openings, and at the same time, you will find the same responsibilities and the same skill sets. And a bit 10% gap, maybe 10 to 5% gap, but the rest other will be same. So if the 5 to 10% gap, no problem, you can proceed with applying the job. Okay, no issues. Irrespective of title, they are okay asking for, no problem. But are you matching the skill set? This is also problem solving, right? They are looking for a candidate who can solve their requirements analysis, having a data analysis skills. If you look at the job description, if you match these skills, you can proceed with applying. Okay, so the same curriculum we are going to cover for the next 6 weeks. Okay, and the coming weeks. And the approach is that we are going to use the whiteboard and the recordings, whatever the typical outcome-based education follows, we follow it. Okay, right. So that's it for today. And if Lakshmi is there, then we can proceed from there. And some questions, let's say, if somebody is asking questions, yeah, what is that question? Please, can someone? I'll needs to be mastered. And I have a question, DP. Like Katie, can you unmute yourself and
Yeah, hi,
can
DP.
we? Yes, please go ahead, please.
Thank you for the insightful session. Each of your sessions are really amazing, very insightful, wonderfully curated for all of us. So, yeah, the question that I wanted to ask you basically was with regards to the NA10 workflow that you were showing us. Could you please go to that slide which you were showing us earlier today for the AP invoice? Yep, to that workflow basically, where you were automating that workflow using NA10.
First of all, thank you. And yeah, please. Yeah, this is the proposed workflow design. Okay.
Right. So the question that I wanted to ask was essentially, so I do understand that initially there was a lot of trouble that the the organization was facing processing this invoice. Like sharing the invoice and then processing used to take almost about 8.4 days, and the expectation there, the need was basically to have it done within 4 hours, under 4 hours, and the process that was automated in the as a part of the solution was I think you had a different slide for that where you had automated that workflow, and you actually sent that email from your email ID, your Gmail ID to your SSW user email ID. So, yeah, this is the one that I was referring to. So that was all done manually, right? So when you are trying to automate the process, what exactly goes into that? That's my question. And this whole workflow, how are you exactly trying to execute it from this forum? So from this NA10 tool, can you help us understand that in a briefly, if possible?
So your question is that, okay, let me confirm that my understanding with you that the business is facing a problem, right? We are on the
Yep.
same page,
Yep.
which is taking an average of 10 days.
Right.
So now the KPI that they wanted to achieve is less than 4 days actually, 10 days to 4 days. Okay, that's what the indicator they wanted to meet. What is the possible options they have? They can build something like a mobile application and they can give it, and this is one option. Okay, automation, Power Apps, Microsoft Power Apps or N8N. These are the tools and available strategies available in the market. Assume that the ABC company, which is facing the problem of 10 days, and this is what architects also suggested, this will solve our problem, right? And therefore, we picked up a template, okay, from this NA10. This is NA10 actually. If you observe here, right, so I'm running my local actually. This can be deployed in cloud, or you can also go search NA10 and you can register and you can play with NA10. That is for 15 days free trial. Okay, this is the tool or a platform where, let's say, I can open this. I can open this a node. Okay, then I connected the Gmail account, which you are talking about, that SSW user connected here from here. Okay, see here, it is connected. Which user is connected? SSW user. What we talked about that here is, as and when any invoice which is received here in the inbox. Okay, let me hide this.
Did you set that
Whenever,
credential? Where are you
yeah,
setting that credential?
yeah, we have to set this credentials, everything set up here in the node. There is a lot of settings here. Okay, this is what
Okay.
we are going to tell me, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is what, let's say, you can configure this. You can configure here. Okay, you can sign it with your SSW user one, right? And this is, once it is connected, next step is that it should be able to read like invoice labels and everything, right? Only invoice labels, whatever the invoices they are labeled as invoice, read them. Okay, if what if I execute this, this is what it got. And once it is read that attachment, the next step is to do this like this. And this is llama. This is an AI agent actually here. Okay, this is an llama. Llama is something which is, maybe if you are new, AI related stuff. This is llama. Llama is an AI model which extracts invoices very perfectly. That's what they have identified, the solution architects. Okay, with the help of this, in order to connect this also, you need a key. What is that? You need a key. Okay, credentials key. Okay, you need a credentials. So we have provided the credentials. Okay, the credentials all provided basic authentication and authorization. We provided the token. How do you get it, this token? Maybe in a next in the real training, I can show you in the end of the sessions. Okay, how to connect and all this. And I can share the same template with you. You can change your credentials. Okay, the same, if you want to implement as a project, just for hustle's sake. Okay, that is extracted, and whatever the data that come here. Okay, and it is extracted, and finally again it is connected Google Sheets with the help of credentials. Again Google Sheets, again with the credentials, right? See, once it is connected, and it will read all the extracted data, put it into the Excel sheet. This is the Excel sheet. See this, this is the Excel sheet SSW1, right? This is the SSW10, where this is. You can send an invoice now from your any dummy invoice. You can send it to this email.
Sorry,
Yeah,
just
this,
one
if
question
I,
here.
yes, please.
Yeah. So in this step, like just I wanted to understand that where did you exactly like not where, how did you like configure this workflow? So you must have gone through a series of steps defining these processes, right? So is it
Yes,
by any chance
yes.
possible to showcase that like configuration of the workflow in N8N by any chance?
Katie,
Now, no.
yeah, I'm about to tell you that one, DP, as well. This is a demo class, so a lot of people will be having a lot of questions. So let us not focus too much deep diving
Apologies,
into the
Yes.
Lakshmi. Yeah, no
N8N.
problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to understand the interest of every audience as well. Okay, Katie?
Yeah,
And
no
you
Yes.
worries.
already
Thank you.
completed the course. Yeah. In the class, again, we will go deep dive into the N8 and we can ask more
Sure.
questions there,
Yeah.
but
Thank you.
not in this demo class. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I understand. Now you wanted how in a detailed, right? That is what I understand. Yes, that is
Yes.
going to be covered in the end because we are trying to implement this solution for the previous classes also. This is evolved now. Okay, that is what we are showing the demo here. Okay, if we showcase everything, that's what as like mentioned because the other. Okay, this is a more of a demo. Yes, definitely
Right.
we are going to cover. Right. Thank you,
Sure.
sir.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Right.
Hope all of you enjoyed our day two demo session as well. It's more about an introduction to the tools, what the purpose of the tools, setting up the workflows, how automation plays key role, and what kind of skills we need to embrace to stand out in the market. That's the purpose of this yesterday's and today's classes. The actual live training, these are also live classes, but the actual training in detail, in-depth training is going to start from next week. So whoever is interested to register, you're most welcome. Already we created WhatsApp group, and yeah, so we already uploaded. Whoever has shared the emails to me, I added, just if you see this, okay, maybe I'll share my screen. DP, could you please stop the screen share? Right. So yesterday I gave access to this for entire folder, so all of you can access this material and yesterday's recording, the slides, everything is there. So if I hope all of you filled the form, and some of you joined newly, but okay, well, 1 minute. Let me not this one. Oh, sorry, just 1 minute. Where is the form? There's just 1 minute, team. Let me, I have some sensitive information that I must close. Sorry for the inconvenience, just a minute. Right, I'm able to fetch the form. So whoever is interested in today's recording as well, so please fill the form. Just it contains only your email address, phone number, and uh, the Gmail ID. So I can add the Gmail ID to the Google Drive so that you can access the material recording. And like this, we are going to go proceed. So from next week, we'll be having the live classes on the weekends and the hands-on assignments on the weekdays. So you will be given, you will be taught to the subject, and you will be doing some kind of hands-on activities during the weekdays. Okay, team. So like that, we progress for 6 to 7 weeks. Sorry, I'm at a guest house. So yeah. Uh, any questions? You're most welcome to ask. Happy to answer. I'm there. DP is there. Anil, you have any question?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
this
ahead,
question
Anil.
is for, yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
This question is for a DP. Like, I do understand that, we have workflows in Informatica, right? I mean, where that is part of a loading process. So, and the example that we have seen today is more for a business process. When I said business in the sense like, after the invoice gets generated, which means that data has been extracted and already, at the end, the invoice will be generated and that will be sent out to, respective people who has to pay the invoice, which is all okay. So, I mean, my question is this class more focused after the data gets loaded. And I mean, this is for business purpose. Let's say if some business wanted to understand, how to fix how to fasten the process and how to do any kind of analytics on the process, is what is this class is meant for that for those people. But I mean, that was one question, and the second question is the AI agent that was built in the workflow, which is a llama, where we are using a phraser, like data cleansing. Uh, is that what that does? And DP?
Yeah. Anil, right? Okay.
Yeah. This is Anil.
Anil,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, that's the first
Yeah.
thing is Informatica, which is ETL and ELT. That's a different process, right? So it's a data engineering. Okay.
Right. That is loading point of view. But I mean,
Yeah, that is
my question
ingestion
is,
kind of, but yeah, that is a different tool. This
yeah,
is
even
this.
even that has automated process as well. I mean, that is
Okay.
also a similar
True.
workflow.
Yeah.
I mean, there is nothing that we do manually, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
that I understand. I mean, that's completely different. You are right. My
Right.
question is more towards like the AI agent that we built,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
llama.
Right. So,
So all I'm
so
trying to
this,
understand is, so
yes,
all
this
I'm
is a
trying to understand
business.
is,
Go ahead, sir.
sorry, yeah. All I'm trying to understand is that doing because I saw the when she asked that question, when you opened that llama, I did notice that there is an API call that you are parsing the data. I mean, that came from a PDF to fit like an invoice.
Hmm. True.
So the parser
Yeah.
is something that we are using, like which is
Yeah.
similar to the profiling or
True. Informatica.
part of, yeah. So I see
Perfect.
I do see some relationship with I mean with the ETL tools to how we are doing this, but this is meant for business. Yeah, you are right. I completely understand that this is meant for business, and it helps. And yeah, the way we are automating the process, yeah, and definitely you try to put it very well, very quick. I mean, in the time that you had as a demo session. And like I said, I mean, until we get into more details, there is no way, like, there's a lot to learn out of it.
Thank you. Yes, yes, we are keeping in mind that the time. And the second thing is it the process optimization, process improvement? Yes, we should be able to optimize the process, the efficiency of the cycle of the payment life cycle, right? So when the payment cycle should be efficient. That's what the problem
Right.
we wanted to solve. So there are tools, Power Apps is there, and a lot of other tools. Also automation, as you mentioned, that it's a data ETL tools like Informatica or profiling tools are there. Today, it's everything is an automation. Just in
Yeah,
order to understand as in a business context, if we wanted to solve problems, there are multiple solutions available for our audience sake that this is an example which the architects or the management took the strategy. Okay, the
got
n8n
it,
tool
got it.
which is a open source which can be deployed, which I'm running in my local actually. So it
Oh,
can be
okay.
deployed in, yeah, which is even everything is open source. I like open source. Okay, you don't need to buy anything, right? So but can I run as a novice or as a fresher? Can I run it? Yes, it requires a formal training for that, to mastery that, understand the mechanics of it, how the automation works. And there are agentic, right? So there is a llama. How it works, a llama is something which is an indexer where they are also giving it free for invoice extraction. Any document, intelligence document. It's not necessarily an kind of this. And we should be able to give a prompt also. There is a prompt. I can show you that in a real time where actually we can. There is a prompt which extracts the data from the PDF and it will parse into a JSON and it will put it into our Excel sheet as a record. That is the outcome of it.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that is a transactional data which is captured, right? Once
Right.
upon post the data, what you can do with the data, business always wants to see nowadays like insights or hunches, like informed decisions, right? And business intelligence is the key. Maybe you can use a Tableau or you can use an Excel or you can use an SQL or you can use a Python. These are the data analysis tools with which
Right.
we can extract the insights. And hey, oh, we are lag here, right? So maybe this is what season is coming up. Earlier, last year, this is what something which we sold and we purchased from these many things from the vendor. Maybe this time I can, last 5 years, this is the average orders we placed. This year is so also I can place the same kind of an average order to, meet the demand that occurs in the season, right? This is
Yeah,
what
yeah,
happens in, yeah. Yes, tools always, we shouldn't think of too much about the tools that, but I always, the process, like, it's very important.
yeah, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for explaining it. I mean, and it's definitely a lot of theory, but I will offline. I will talk to Lakshmi and use. I mean, few things that I noticed that it could be put it in more productive and effective way very quickly, so that more questions will not come up.
Sure, Anil.
Sorry.
Yeah, sure. No problem at all. All good, all good.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Anyone, any other questions? Please fill the form. You can access
I
today's
have one more
material and
question,
also
Lakshmi.
this. Oh, yeah, Katie, go ahead.
Yeah. So the other question that I wanted to ask is with regards to the NFRs. This is also for DP. So NFRs, DP, like who are supposed to write NFRs? Like, is it going to be the BA or is it going to be the technical architect in a project? And is this going to be, is it a standard practice? Like whatever is your answer, is that a standard practice or does it vary based on the project and the organization?
See, what is NFR? NFR is a non-functional requirement, which
Right.
refers to the quality attributes of the system, right? So what does it mean, quality attributes of the system, like scalability, availability, security, yes, and encryption, decryption, uptimes, and all these are all comes under quality attributes, right? Let's say if the functional business and this wood doesn't know any technical key terms or jargons, the domain of technology, then simply what you can do is that create a placeholder in the Jira or AW board and in the stand-up call and ask the architects or a tech lead or team lead to complete the functionality that actually the scenarios. Okay, this is one approach. See, if you are functional and technical, if you have an experienced guy, maybe if you know it, you can do it, but it should be reviewed thoroughly. Okay,
But it is not
before
mandatory, right? That the
it's not
BA.
mandatory. No. See, there is nothing hard and fast rules. Like, it is always an adapt because nowadays hybrid roles. See, I'll give you one example, all of you, that we worked with Satyam earlier in, 2000s, mid 2000s, Satyam, where a software engineer means you used to write the class and go. That's it. You shouldn't get into any other aspects. Okay. But today, the role is a full stack developer. What does it mean, the difference? They're also software engineer SD, but today is also full stack developer. What does it mean? A full stack developer is the one who should know UI, like React kind of frameworks, also the middlewares like C Sharp, Java, also backend databases and everything, right? These three.
Right.
So what does it mean? The roles are evolving. Now is also business analyst. If we take the same thing example as a business. If you look back 8 years, 10 years back, IT business analyst or a functional business analyst is they are very, stick to the domain, understanding what business wants to achieve and defining the BRD and FRD. That's it. Sign off, right? They don't
Right.
get into the data analysis, Power BI tools, Excel, SQL. No company asks. But today, just I showcased that Deloitte is asking, KPMG is asking, right? And many other companies, retail companies are asking, Amazon is asking, right? So, hey, you're a business analyst or a data analyst, slash. They're using the, simple word, the slash. What is that? Means you should be able to play different roles. So, therefore, this is subject to the roles that is within your organization culture. If you are working in a staffing company or if you are working in a product based company of if you are working in a service based company, it depends. A staffing company, they can make use of like anything, right? Because as long as you are contract with them. And if you are a product based company, you should be able to research market and the competitors and features, right? That works. If the product goes good, that you will be safe. In the services company, as long as you have a project, yes, you will be there and you will be exposed to the multiple domains. So, as you mentioned, that is something which is subject to the culture of the company and the quality standards that they are following. That's it. Right.
Yeah,
Who
thank you.
writes the
That
NFR?
helps.
I'll ask this question, trap question in interviews always. Hey, this is like estimate question that it support the system should be able to support 10,000 users and the 10,000, 5,000 invoices per minute. How do you write the requirement? This is what I'll ask the question in BS for BS. They try to answer this question. That's the trap, right? No. Hey, this looks like this is an MFR, right? So because this is a load requirement, which because I'm aware of load, but I'll create a placeholder and I'll ask the technical architect to write the load requirements, load scenarios, right? That is the right answer. But the BA always search for answers to give, and yeah, I'll write that in this. That is the wrong thing because we will trap sometimes asking questions like this. Hey, who write who writes the load requirements? This is an NFR. That is what I told you. If given statement, you should be able to classify that which is the business requirement or a stakeholder requirement or a functional requirement or non-functional requirement or a transition requirement, right? That is what the skill set you should be able to have, right? If you know what is the attributes of a statement, okay, then you will decide, hey, this is what something I'm not completely expert in this writing. I'll create a placeholder and I'll ask the tech lead or architect will write the rest. That's it. Hope I answered your question right. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, DP, because I was in a similar situation. So, yeah, I just thought I'll ask you this. All good. Thank you.
Hi, Ricky. Ricky, thanks for introduction course. Very enlightening. Thank you very much, Ricky. This is, as I said, these two are just only introductory demo classes. You will be learning more in a practical way. In fact, you will be practically doing it as well. Like Katie is asking interesting questions. She already completed our training earlier. So all of you will have an opportunity to rejoin the classes if you want to rejoin. Katie, would you like to share your experience like from the previous batch, the outcomes?
Absolutely, Lakshmi. Yeah, so sure. So, yeah, I had joined the August batch last year, and DP was very kind enough to run us through the entire curriculum of technical business analyst. So he walked us through the different facets, not just of the business side of things, but also the technology side of things. He covered a lot of, interesting topics like APIs using, like Swagger tool, and he took us through the basics as well as the intermediate concepts of SQL using like PG admin, how we can execute the queries, concepts of joins, normalization, and he took us through basics of Power BI, and also taught us through various different artifacts that a business analyst creates during the process of an engagement process, different structure, the structure to the artifacts, the formats, templates to the artifacts, predefined templates to the artifacts. He shared them with us, and he also guided us through the entire process of how brainstorming interviewing is conducted in the process of requirements elicitation, how a business analyst can actually facilitate the user acceptance testing going forward in the journey, and what are the different domains that as emerging business analysts we all should be learning, the domains which are very much picking up in the market these days, and what is the length or the duration that one needs to spend while working on these domains in order to have a fair bit of understanding and knowledge as well as experience working in those domains, and what are the various certifications of interest, IIBA certifications, how we can prepare for that, and all the different aspects, not just from a business perspective but also from a technology perspective, how business can be threaded together with the technology side of things to give a very holistic end-to-end approach to an engagement is something that was also covered in the program in the batch. So it's a very nice session. I would highly recommend both DP and Lakshmi. So they're amazing people, very supportive, very helpful, and they would even take calls to support us at times in terms of resume preparation, in terms of helping us understanding core concepts wherever applicable. So extremely kind and considerate people. So
Thank
highly
you very much,
recommended.
DP.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thanks. It means a lot to us. Yeah,
It's a lot.
right. Yeah, it is. It's a lot actually. Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Uh, uh, as Katie is saying that, okay, so it's not just about the training. Even after the training, you can reach us any number of times, any number of times. I literally mean it. So whatever the support you require from the CV perspective or LinkedIn guidance, maybe the interview schedule, one-to-one interview guidance, or you want to rejoin the class, or you have some questions, ask them in the WhatsApp group, or you want to have some predefined templates where you want to use it in the job. As you know, DP is already working professional. So he will be sharing us lot of templates. So you have the mock-ups, curriculum, you can see the models. This is from the previous batch where Katie just mentioned. So all of you will be having a similar access to the materials. These are the class notes. You see, you click here, class notes, and just you open. So step by step, class notes along with the pictures, the templates, the tools, diagrams, everything will be given access to you guys. Okay, team? Uh, Anyone, any questions? Cool. So I continuously encourage everyone to join our live webinars like this, enhance your skills, at least understand what is happening in the market, keep yourself relevant to the changing marketing conditions, which is very important to all of us. Any final words from you, DP?
Yeah, this is evolving, right? So again, we
Exactly.
are adding more prompts library that art of prompt engineering, that is the key. If we enable them, right? So how to make use of AI tools in terms of like gap analysis, SWOT analysis, like research. That
Correct.
is no need to do like our own intelligence. That today, if you just give the prompt, that's what I'm
Exactly.
preparing the engineering the prompts, which I created the set. That is very value add. And other thing is that we are trying to implement this solution and end to end to showcase them, right? But it's not supposed to be done by a tech BA like end to end, because to make them understand how the real automation or real projects looks like. Okay, that's what our intention to showcase them, right? It doesn't mean that like do you want to create JavaScript or completely writing the code and all? No. Okay, yes, if maybe interested, yes, we can give a different course and the training
Yep.
on that, like how to use automation for BAs. That is a
Hmm.
different. And SQL, that it's very important. This is very demanding tool which is required. It is a data engineering or AI. This is the basis. Today we are living in a data world. That is why the curriculum is composed of 60%, 60 to 70% is more of a data. If you look at the requirements which I've drafted, sample requirements drafted, there are all 10 requirements which is to build the reports and dashboards based on the same just one vendor invoice, right? So when they receive, that is what the analysis we can do and generate the reports. So
Right. Yep.
this is aligned with the market demand, not something just our mind sitting in a room and design that. No. So we
Yep.
made a lot of research, and this course is also evolving. That last three modules we are adding, right, and changing here
Right.
and there, like
It
to
will change.
make
Yeah,
them.
it will
Yeah,
change.
yeah, yes, right.
All our
Thanks.
trainings, not only that one, even the Azure data engineering. Recently, we added the Microsoft Fabric. In the cybersecurity, we added some more under the ethical hacking. So we do the continuous market research and add whatever is really required for our students to stand out in the market. Any final
We need to
questions?
adapt because
Yes,
we have an
exactly.
experience. We have an experience because
True.
we do interviews on a daily basis, right? So what are the people coming to us? If we ask a conceptual, at least a question, conceptual understanding, they are not able to answer that. That is the world we are living in. So I don't know where they
Yeah.
come from. Like they are already having an experience and expecting a high pack, and but if you ask a conceptual, can you recall and list out this means no,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So therefore, that is a missing aspect. That's what we wanted to, transform the people who wanted to get into the job roles or enhance their job
Right.
positions. Uh,
All good. Thank you, everyone, for wonderful participation. Hope you got, like yesterday, hope all of you got a good value for the time that you invested. And hope all of you added your Gmail ID to the Google form. I will be sharing the recording as well. So from next week is going to be for the people who registered, whoever is interested in registering this full-length hands-on Tech BA class. So please message me on my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is there. Uh, Again, I'm texting you +6141251636 So this Thursday, next week Thursday, I'm traveling back to Australia. So I will be operating from Australia from next week. Any final questions? All good. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, DP. I'm stopping the
Welcome and
recording.
thanks everyone. This is Sunday again.
Right. Exactly. Enjoy your rest of the day. Okay.